What's going on, everybody? We are here with our second part to our Ni no Kuni quick look, I guess you can call it. This is the we're gonna be doing two more different gameplay levels. I'm joined by Steven Akana, the brand manager on Ni no Kuni 2.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
And we're gonna check out some of the new stages, right?
Yeah, so let's jump into the battle for the Heartland.
Yes, let's do that. So this is a little bit different than what we're used to seeing in the other videos. You're playing as Chibi Evan.
Yeah, no, this is, so there's two different visual looks that are in Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. When you're in the overworld, the environments are very realistic, so it's kind of taking these chibi characters juxtaposed against a realistic looking environment. Once you get into a dungeon, it goes into that more traditional anime looking feel, which we'll actually get into in the other stage that we're going to be showing today.
Sure. And then the other thing I noticed is it's not your traditional, third person walking around. This is a strategy element to the game. Or?
Yeah, it has some kind of elements of a real-time strategy. So think about, like, you're able to take and dispatch your infantry and go into little overworld battles where, depending on which type of characters you dispatch, which leaders you have for different groups, it can change the course of how your battle functions. So in this demo, we're actually showing in the game, Evan and his crew, they need to find a place where they can set up their own kingdom. We recently announced that in Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, Evan's going to be creating his own kingdom called Evermore. So right now they're in the world, and they're saying, oh, we can go ahead and build our country over here, but there's a bunch of pesky bandits, so he has to go through and get
clear out the land of bandits,
yeah,
pretty much.
And it's a nice way for people to kind of get in and see how there's different functions that you can do. You're rotating your characters with the L1 and R1 buttons on the controller, and then there's different advantages to having different types of characters up in your lead point. Right now I'm trying to make sure that all my archers stay in the back so that they can still attack while not being taken down by the enemies in front of them. But you can also speed up your attacks and charge at them. It's pretty cute. I like it.
Yeah. Are you controlling your armies in real time, or are they just following you?
Yeah, you're controlling them in real time. So you're navigating throughout the planes. You're rotating them as you see fit, and making all the different commands to make them do various attacks.
That is really cool. That definitely brings another element to this game. I thought it would be just a straight up JRPG, but bringing this brings a level of variety to the game.
Yeah, it really gives you a nice sense of feeling that you are a king that's commanding a group of people. I mean, the simulation of becoming a king and ruling over your own kingdom is very prevalent in Ni no Kuni 2.
Now, are you just controlling Evan the entire time you're doing these types of battles, or are you able to switch between the different characters?
So right now in this one, you're going to have Evan as a central point. If you see the two different characters that are on the side, you're able to dispatch different allies that will go out with you and will have different types of attacks. So right now I'm going to execute a special tactic. I can call in some airstrikes thanks to one of the guys that I have dispatched in my group.
This truly does feel like a strategy game right now. That is pretty cool. So the armies you're controlling, they're just fodder pretty much. They're not like specific characters in the story or anything. They're not like soldiers you find or talk to or anything like that.
Well, each of the guys that you see in the bottom corner, they're specific characters. So as you go through the world of Ni no Kuni, Evan's going to be looking for and recruiting different people to become citizens of Evermore. And as you go out to different battles, each person has different types of abilities, so you get to choose exactly how you want to be fighting in these areas. It's not just like you go out and it's a preset menu. You're actually getting to choose, and there's flexibility.
Gotcha. And as you're going further and further into this level, it's getting more and more detailed. Like first, you started out in this open field, now you're behind these encampments. You got these archers coming down on you. It's pretty interesting how the battles evolve. Oh, called in another airstrike. What are those? Are those flying turtles or?
They're Sky Pirate planes.
Oh,
so,
okay.
The characters that you have, they are part of the Sky Pirates crew.
I see. And I don't know if you can discuss this. Is there a story element to why he's getting into these battles other than, hey, he's got to clear the land? Like, is there something that, like, I guess, precedes before you get into, like, the first type of, like, encounter like this?
Well, I mean, like, contextually, it makes a lot of sense that this is at the first point where Evan's going to start building his kingdom. So both Skirmish, which is this mode, and Kingdom mode, which is the simulation kingdom development, where you can do a lot of those things that you would expect in an RPG, like being able to research new magic, new attacks, a bunch of different other items that we've actually yet to unveil. But it makes a lot of sense for right when he's trying to decide exactly what land he's going to be setting up shop. That this is where you learn about this function.
Gotcha. And are your armies upgradable? Like, are you able to upgrade your archers with stronger bows? Are you able to upgrade your soldiers with better armor?
Yeah. No. There's a lot of different. There's different types of infantry that you're able to dispatch. In this one, there's only the archers and the foot soldiers. But as you see in the top right corner, there is an element of a bit of rock, paper, scissors.
I see that, yeah.
That will really kind of dictate which enemies you're more advantageous against. And when you go into the full game, right now there's only 2 different groups that you're utilizing, but you can utilize up to 4. So there's a lot of strategy in being able to choose the right group that you set out with. And I believe today we released a bunch of new content, like we put out our making of video,
yes.
And there was a couple cuts of footage that we also provided, and one of them is a longer form skirmish battle that you can see where you're actually going in, you're fighting some wyverns, and you can actually be pretty dynamic as you progress through. But,
yeah, and
this one's a great way of just kind of, coaxing people in and making sure that they understand what the gameplay flow feels like.
Yeah. And you'll be able to see those on the Bandai Namco social media channels. You'll see them. You can definitely check them out on our YouTube channel. We'll have posts about them on Twitter, Facebook, etc. So that was the army battles.
Yep.
Now we are going to get into something a bit more traditional in terms of Ni no Kuni 2. We're going to get into the Wyvern battle.
Yeah, so this is a great way of being able to see how some of the instance battles occur in the overworld, but then also jumping into a dungeon and fighting a mid-scale boss.
I'm excited to see this. I have not. So this. I don't know if I want you to. Will this be a boss battle? Will there be a boss battle, or is it just enemies like fodder? I guess we're gonna find out.
Oh, in this.
Yeah, in this
stage?
demo here, in this one here.
Oh, that's what I just said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew that. I'm paying attention. Hey. So we get a little bit of dialogue here.
Yeah, so in the story at this point, basically Roland and Evan, they've met the Sky Pirates, and Batu, who's the head of the Sky Pirates, is letting him know about his adopted daughter Tani, who has been recently abducted by a group of wyverns. And basically the group, they saw like, oh, the wyverns have come through and they've stolen Tani, and well, she's gone now. And Evan and Roland really decide that this is unacceptable. We're gonna go and save her. So that's what our mission at hand is right now.
Okay, cool. Okay, so now we're back into the chibi versions here.
Hey.
Do you prefer chibi, or you just call him something else?
I mean, like, I watch a lot of anime, and if I was to look at these, I'd definitely be like, oh, they're chibi. They're small body, big head, super cute. One of the things you can't really tell while just watching the video, but these little sparkly items you're able to walk through and collect different pieces, either gold that you can use for spending, or different items that are used for crafting within your kingdom. And a lot of games, like, you'll see items, you have to walk up, you got to press a button to be able to actually pick up the item, but you just walk through them in this one. So it's actually kind of nice. You're just going from piece to piece and give me all the things.
So here we see a little bit of the combat. I don't know if you remember last time, Steven, but Roland had a different sword the last time we played, the first time we did the quick look.
Yeah. No, there's different swords and different weapons that you're able to equip to all the different characters.
Nice. Okay, so that is customizable.
Mm-hmm.
That is cool.
Yeah, and one of the screenshots we actually put out today, there's also different costumes that you're able to equip. So we just showed one image, and it's of Evan wearing Oliver's costume. Oliver being...
From the first Nino... That's right, I saw he was wearing the blue tunic, right? Yeah. That looks so cool. That is a nice callback to the first Nino.
Excited.
What just happened there? That was a lot of exploding.
So when you're in a battle, there is Higgledies that will accompany you. Mm-hmm. And the different Higgledies have different abilities that they're able to utilize. So I was just using one of the dark elemental Higgledies, and they provide a dark matter attack. But when you see those circles of influence that you can walk into, there's an icon that lets you know that you can press a button. And as you do that, then the Higgledies will take on those commands. But then also at the same time, throughout the battle, they'll do different things to kind of draw aggro, and they're almost like your passive party member. So in this demo, you can only play as Evan, but in the full game, you're able to switch between all of your other party members on the fly. So if there's a full game, I could switch directly over to Roland, and once you get to a certain point in the game, you're able to have 2 other party members. So you'll have 3 people plus the Higgledies. It kind of makes it a full set of 4.
Cool. One thing I did notice while you're traversing around this area is the scale of the map looks huge in this game.
Yeah, no, it's really big, and it's gorgeous. Like being able to walk through and just see this world that, right now it has a very mountainous desert kind of look and feel, but there's a lot of different world environments that really creates a lot of variety for your adventures and exploration in Kuni.
Yeah, referencing back to the video that we put up, the behind the scenes, it actually Hino-san, he talks a lot about Golden Paw in that video, which is another area in the maps, right? So
yeah,
a lot of variety.
Yeah, that place, it's actually, they modeled it after, if you check out the first behind the scenes Enter the Anime video that we put out, there's a little bit more information about it, but it's cool because they referenced Taiwan when thinking about the design, so like thinking about like night markets, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And the team actually went there and did a lot of creative explorations to make sure that the visual aesthetic really met what they were trying to achieve. I think it's pretty cool in how the team really focuses on research in the way that they handle their creativity and creation.
Definitely. Bringing back to the map, actually, I don't know if you know, but on we actually just opened up a special promo where if you pre-order the game on the Bandai Namco store, and we'll have a link in the description of the video, you're actually able to get a full, or like a replica of the map of the world. It's a pretty nice looking map, sturdy. It's definitely got that old school feel to it. So if you're into that, be sure to check it out. At the on the description, just click the link and you'll be able to see the map on the Bandai Namco store. Yeah, definitely check it out.
It's a nice little bonus for getting the collector's edition.
Yes, yeah. So if you pre-order the collector's edition of the game from the Bandai Namco store, you'll be able to get it. And we'll have like a little slide at the end showing you what it looks like and stuff like that, so you'll be able to check it out and see if that's something you're into. But I highly recommend it if you are a completionist or a collector. So now you are battling mini rivers?
Yeah, so, when you get into battles, as you saw, you're walking on the map, you can identify enemies that are there, and you can either walk into them to be able to jump into battle, or you can simply run away and avoid them if that's what you need to do at the time.
One thing I noticed is the enemies actually appear on the map, so there are no random battles, or how do the battles work? You're always able to see the enemies on the map?
Yeah, there's no walk through a field and then just like a random screen crash and it goes into a battle. You're gonna know if you're gonna go into one in the overworld. When you're inside of a dungeon, all the battles are seamless, so you're actually going from one battle to another. There's no result screen or victory screen. Mm-hmm. It just kind of continues from one to another.
And you were talking about the party members earlier. I think we revealed 2 more party members, right, in the latest video. There's, I can't remember her name. She's kind of a mechanic.
Bracken.
Bracken,
and,
that's right.
Zip Vector.
Yeah. And so the second character, what was it? I can't pronounce it.
Is it Vector?
Zefector, yeah. At first I thought he was a bad guy. Looking at the old videos, if you guys seen any of the old videos, he's the guy with the glasses typing on the computer. But he actually is part of your team at one point.
You know, you're going to have to experience the game to be able to find out more about these characters.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of it's a little difficult, like when thinking about, like, you know, promotions for Ni no Kuni, where it's like there's a lot of characters that we want to, you know, give visibility to, but then at the same time, like, one of the major joy points is really the discovery of story, and you know, we want to make sure that we're not necessarily throwing out too many spoilers for people.
Agreed. I was getting a little bit ahead of myself. I'm just excited about the game, like the characters in the story, and the character design is just amazing in this thing. Like, all of them have these really intricate costumes. Evan's cape, just super detailed, and each one has like their own personality. I love it. Are we getting close to the boss? I'm excited.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to rush past these other guys so I can get into the dungeon. Let's see. Distract you.
Oh, is it gonna catch you?
Nope. I got fast little legs.
Oh,
what happened? Where'd it go?
Classic video game enemies. They just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Now we just go in there, rescue Tanya, and we're done, right? Call it a day.
Yeah, so easy, right?
Yeah, that's the way it should be. I think that's the way it goes. Although if you're walking into a cave that's made out of ribs, I don't know. That's questionable.
Yeah, so as you can see, you know, we've entered into a dungeon,
yes.
and it's taken on that more anime-looking feel.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was any enemy you know, battles to be had before you entered or approach the boss, you would actually just run into them, take them down, and continue forward. But once you go into this dungeon in particular, you're going straight into the boss battle.
I still can't get over how smooth the frame rate is. Like, I haven't seen a drop. No stutter. It's just fluid, I guess is the best way I can describe it.
I mean, that's something that's really important when you figure that, you know, one of the main objectives of the team is to create an experience that really bleeds the line between a video game and a theatrical experience.
Yes.
So there was a lot of care taken into just that pacing and quality standard to make sure that, you know, you can become immersed and there's no jarring moments that are really going to pull you out of that fantasy.
Mm-hmm. One thing I'm also loving is the music by Joe Hisashi.
Joe Hisaishi?
Hisaishi, I'm sorry, I pronounced it wrong. I was thinking of a different character in a fighting game. But yes, him. It's epic, is the best way I can describe it, I guess. Do you have any like tidbits you can give us about the music? Was he pumped about it? Did he like working on the project?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very collaborative effort with all the talent that came together for Ni no Kuni 2. I mean, you know, we're so lucky to be able to, you know, have the Joe Hisaishi back and lending, you know, his talents to this game. It was very essential in how the quality of the first game really came together, and the fact that, you know, he's been involved in so many Ghibli projects before, that it really helps establish an experience that is something really special. And you know, he utilized he worked with the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra to do all of the recording for all the in-game music.
Oh, okay, wow. I didn't know that. All right, that's awesome. What I guess, what kind of style would you say this game's music is? Is it more like operatic? Is it smooth jazz, country?
Well, I mean, the music does have a very theatrical feel to it, but when, you know, creating a soundtrack to a game, there is a lot of differences in how you would compose something, say for like an orchestra or for a movie or television. There's different things that you have to consider when crafting that type of music.
Yeah, I mean, the music sets the tone for the game, and you want to make sure that they both work well with each other. Let's talk about this battle here. So this is why did he kidnap Connie, by the way? Or can you, I don't know if you can go into that or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Wyverns feel that this is their territory. So I'm not gonna say exactly why they kidnapped Tommy.
Sure.
That's,
Once again, discovery
Yep.
is what we want. Is important. Don't want to spoil. Okay, fair enough. And it looks like you're halfway through with this guy.
Yep.
I think I just saw your buddy Lofty come up. Am I missing something, or was that just one of the Higgledies that looks like Lofty?
That was probably one of the
Higgledies.
sun form Higgledies.
Ah, okay. Can you talk about a little bit of what just happened there?
So if you stun an enemy at the right point, you're able to go into an awakened state, where you're able to have overpowered attacks, and you can utilize multiple special attacks without having to utilize what would have normally been one of those blue gems that you see above the life bar. Every time you're doing physical attacks, it helps fill up those gems, but every time you want to use a special attack or one of your skills, then it's going to require you to continue to hit people and make sure that you have those blue orbs.
I see. The other thing, obviously, I think people have noticed is the combat's very different compared to Ni no Kuni 1. Ni no Kuni 1 was turn-based combat. This is all real-time. Which do you prefer? What feels better?
So, I mean, I love turn-based RPGs. I think that, the previous Ni no Kuni was kind of a hybrid. There was open movement, but when you brought up your action palette, basically, it would freeze the game. So you could make choices of, what type of attack you want to do, if you want to switch to one of the familiars or one of your other party members. So I think this one actually, it feels very modern. It is a nice way of, it feels balanced in how you have different things that you're thinking about, whether it's like what are the different things that Higgledies can do, what is the skill set that Roland has or Tawny has, or whatever your whoever your other party members are. So I think that it actually is it's a nice graduation to a new gameplay style that I think people will really dig.
Now, you mentioned you're able to switch between characters. When you switch between the characters, are you still able to control the Higgledies in combat?
Yeah, so
Okay.
no matter who your lead point is, they're able to engage with the Higgledies, and if they're offering up an attack skill, then anyone can activate them.
Careful.
That was pretty good. The Higgledy flew up there and cut her down. That was dope. Not only do they attack, they protect. Are there advantages or disadvantages to using one character instead of another one?
Yeah, I mean, there's different flexibilities on, the types of weapons that they have, their equips, so it all depends on a bit of your play style and the enemies that you're facing.
What do you think of the voice cast? I know we're going to have dual audio. We're going to have the English voice actors, and then we're going to have the Japanese voice actors as well, which we actually just had a video with the behind the scenes with the Japanese voice acting team. Which do you prefer?
I like them both. I think that, the localization that was done on the voices, it feels very immersive, and it feels extremely appropriate, especially given that, there was a voice cast from the first game that, people highly regarded. So the fact that, we're able to meet that same caliber again, I think is really great. But also knowing that, there's a really great Japanese voice cast that has also been working on this title, and they're equally as juiced about it as we are.
The guy that plays Batu in Japanese is on point, by the way.
Yeah.
You gotta watch that video. Like, that rough voice he has, I'm like, man, this guy is, like, perfect for the role. And then to counter that, actually, Evan, in the English version, perfectly cast, I think. He's got, like, this quivering, like, uncertainty about himself.
For people who really enjoyed Mr. Drippy, I think they'll also really enjoy the narration from Lofty as well.
I think you're right. So that is the 2 levels for Ni no Kuni 2. Once again, if you get a chance, be sure to check out the link at the bottom. If you're planning on picking up the game, there's the collector's edition of it, which will get you that free map that I was talking about. Definitely take a look at it. It's a really cool collector's item. Steven, is there anything else you want to say before we take off?
No, I mean, just check out all the new footage that we've been putting out for Ni no Kuni 2. We're super excited. The game is coming out on March 23rd, 2018, and on PlayStation 4 and PC via Steam. So can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it and enjoy what is going to most definitely be my favorite RPG of 2018.
All right, guys, that's it. If you guys like these videos, please let us know in the comments so we know to keep doing them or not. All right, thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
Cool.